Hello, guys. This is Nidhi, your host for today. I hope everyone attending this event is doing great and staying safe. Welcome to yet another session to help you hone your knowledge. And today we are discussing what goes into making of a CEO and how, as a CEO, you can increase your business impact and make the most of available resources and find your freedom. Today's event is brought to you by Designhill, world's leading creative marketplace that caters to the creative needs of businesses and individuals alike, who can source high quality designs who can source high quality designs from professional designers and buy unique products created by independent artists. So, moving ahead, let me introduce our speaker for today. We have Daniel Marcos with us. Daniel is based out of Mexico. He's the co founder and CEO of Gazelle's Growth Institute, the leading online executive education company for C-level executives at fast-growing firms. He also co-founded Inflection, a management coaching company that helps businesses, executives, and entrepreneurs grow their companies faster. He's an international speaker and has shared stage with thought leaders like Peter Diamandis, Guy Kawasaki, and Jack Canfield. He holds a BS in Industrial and Systems Engineering from ITESM and an MBA from Babson College of Wellesley, MA. Thank you so much, Daniel, for joining us today. How do you feel to be here?
I was muted. Okay, now can you hear me? How are you? Thank you very much for the invitation. Super excited to be here.
And so are we. Very happy to be here today with you. So, guys, before we start the session, we have a couple of announcements which can actually earn you certificates and some uh, giveaways that we have planned for you. We are giving away certificates to the attendees who will stick till the end of the session. So, you please just cannot miss on this chance. Stay tuned till the end so you get your certificates well in time. And you can also take a screenshot of this event, put it on your Twitter handle, and tag Designhill BH and capital M print, which is Daniel's Twitter handle. It will be there in your chat box to copy exactly from. One lucky winner will have a chance to win a PS print shop gift card worth $50. Having said that, let's quickly look at what Designhill is all about.
Need to get your parents off your back? Head to the world's #1 creative marketplace, Designhill.
When I started my photography business, I needed something that said, this was more than just a hobby. It's not a hobby, Mom. That's why I went to Designhill and got an amazing logo super fast at a price I could afford. The process was easy using Designhill's logo maker. Just enter the name of your business, then pick out a number of designs that inspire you. I'll pick this one and that one looks cute. Then pick your colors or let the system decide. Add some more info like a slogan, the industry your business is in, and your budget. The logo maker, using machine learning and artificial intelligence, will design thousands of logo variants that you can choose from and adapt. In fact, I was able to get everything from business cards to t-shirt design and complete social media kit, all with the click of a button. With that, I'm all set. Now everyone I meet knows I'm a legit photographer. Even my mom. It's real. That's decaf.
Let the world know it's real and build your brand with Designhill.
Amazing. That was all about Designhill, and now we're all set to start the session. Guys, if you have anything that you would like to ask Daniel, do put it under the questions tab. We have also rolled out a few polls in the poll section. Don't forget to answer them. All your questions will be answered, and please do participate in the polls. So, Daniel, let's begin with the session. Over to you. You can share your screen and start presenting, please. You will have to unmute yourself. Daniel, if you can hear me, you will have to unmute yourself first.
All right, now,
Yeah.
are we ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Perfect. Okay. All right, guys. So let's talk about how to be a better CEO of your company. And I've been a CEO of my company for 23 years. And I really believe no one prepares you to be a CEO. I know that you're focused on your product, your client, raising money, paying employees, hiring people. And then one day you wake up and you realize you're a CEO. You're leading a team, you're leading a company. You have to start to think different about your job. So let's talk about how to become the CEO that your company deserves, to be able to have more impact and less drama in the operation. And by the way, when we talk about less drama, I know how much drama it creates for being a CEO of a company. As I said, I've been a CEO for 23 years, and there's times that I probably just sleep 2 or 3 hours because I'm working too much, or I spend a night that I have no idea how I'm going to pay payroll. Those kind of things are really important. That creates a lot of stress and drama. So let's talk about how to do that. All right, a little bit first about myself. These are all the companies I've been associated with for the last 23 years. So I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I've done really, really well in some that grew and sold them. And then I've done really bad in the other ones. I've had a couple of companies that I've closed because there was no business there. We realized there was nothing good. But this is the conclusion. I really believe no one teaches you how to be a CEO. And you need to have what we call a CEO system. When I go to companies, I ask them, hey, show me your systems. And they show me their production system and accounting system and customer support system. And I say, great, now show me your CEO system. How do you operate as the leader of the company? How do you take decision? And they baffles and they kind of tell me, well, I do this and I do that. But everyone tells me something different. And no one has a structured set process. So let's talk about what process can you do to be able to be a better CEO. And by the way, this CEO system, I think it will help you do 3 things. First, prioritize. We believe more companies die for excess of opportunity than for lack of opportunity. The best companies in the world, they're very, very focused, and they are focusing very few priorities and do them very, very well. Second, you need to measure. If you cannot measure, you cannot improve. Anything that you want to improve, put it a measure, and you could track that measure and see if it's getting better or not. And then if you have a team, you have to learn how to communicate to them what's the strategy, delegation, and the rest. And those communication rhythms are going to be very, very important. And I really believe there's 2 types of CEOs. One is when you're trying to speak and your team is tired, you could see the eyes of the team, everyone's kind of depressed and not really engaged in the company. And then you get someone like him. I adore this CEO. Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft. I think he's brilliant. By the way, the computer that I'm teaching, my phone, my iPad, everything is Apple. I hate PC, but I admire this CEO. I think he's brilliant. Let me show you a number to give you an idea of the brilliance of this guy. So this is the stock of Microsoft since it started, and Bill Gates left around here, right? And here's what Steve Ballmer got the company as the CEO. He took the company in around $50 per share, and 14 years later, when he stepped aside from being CEO, in 14 years, the company was worth $36 per stock. So he destroyed value in 14 years. And then Satya Nadella gets it here at 36, and now it's like at 250. That's growth. That's scale. This is someone that gets it. Its stock price is not the only thing, but it's really an easy way to measure success of the company. And that's the difference. And by the way, I think Microsoft had like 250 or 240,000 employees around the world. You change one, and this is the change that you see. That's the importance of the CEO. That's how much power we have in a company, and our decisions impact the business a lot. So let's see what do you need to do to be a better CEO? And of course, the choice is yours. You could be someone that they don't get it, and people don't feel led by you, and you have a lot of drama in your operation, or you choose to become great. And people said, okay, I want to be great. I want to be a better CEO, but I'm alone. I don't know how to do this. You're not alone. I understand what it's to feel stuck. I felt stuck and been stuck many, many, many years of my life as an entrepreneur. I really believe there's a great community of CEOs that already are helping other CEOs become better. So don't be alone. Focus yourself, go to other CEOs, share ideas, and within all these CEOs around the world, we could help each other. And again, I also want to explain that depending on the company, depending on your leadership and how you have to evolve and grow to a next level. So as an example, in the US before COVID, there were 28 million companies. 96% of them do less than $1 million in revenue. And by the way, I'm originally from Mexico. I live in Austin, Texas today. And when I was seeing the US, I was like, wow, the biggest market in the world with the biggest companies in the world. And we talk about Apple and Microsoft and Oracle and all these big companies. But when you realize and you look deep into the market in the US is built from small companies. All companies doing less than $1 million. You could see 96% of the companies here do less than $1 million. Just 4 do more than 1 million. 0.4 do more than 10 million. And 0.06 or 17,000 companies do over 50 million a year. That's how the US is built. And by the way, from stage to stage, you have to go through a valley of death, because what got you to that stage will not get you to the next one. You have to unlearn certain things. You have to hire new employees, new systems, new procedures, new clients to go to the next level. This is my home country, Mexico. Very similar, 96% of them do less than 10 million pesos or around 400,000 US dollars. It's very, very important that to understand that there's a typical revenue per employee in every market for a small, mid-sized company. In the US, a mid-sized company, small to mid-size, the revenue is around 120,000 revenue per employee, more or less. In Mexico, it's around 40,000 revenue per employee. In India, that I was in India a couple of years ago teaching this, it's around $18,000 revenue per employee. So just to give you an idea of where you are. So these are the stages that we have identified in a company: the startup, the grow up, the scale up, and then you dominate your industry. So let's talk about stage 1, 2, 3, and 4, and how can you dominate your industry. And by the way, I'm going to try to explain what's the focus, the priority, the barrier, the ability you have to focus on, and what's the right decision you have to get right on each stage. And why do I explain stages if we're talking about CEOs? You have to really understand what your company needs to give them what they need. Imagine in human beings, we're babies, kids, adolescents, and adults. The attention, the food, education, everything in that stage changes. You're not going to give Gerber to a 20-year-old kid. It just doesn't work, right? But the Gerber is an amazing food for a baby of 6 months. So depending on the stage, you have to give certain attention. So let's focus on that to understand the stages, to know what you have to do on each stage. So stage number 1, 1 to 5 employees, more or less. The focus is product development. What's a product market fit? What do you sell? How much do you sell it for? What price? And the rest. The priority is validate the business model, right? Validate what you do. The barrier is the market dynamics. Really understand the dynamics of the market. Who are the competitors? How do they sell? How they charge? What discounts do they give? All of that. The ability that will allow you to do this is marketing. Why? Marketing is a communication channel for you to tell your potential clients what you want to sell them, and for them to tell you if they're willing to buy and at what price. And then the decision is all about strategy. You have to redo your strategy and set your strategy right on stage 1. On stage 2, 6 to 15 employees, your focus is 100% on sales. Why? Because now you have a fixed expense, and I have to get cash flow in the company to be able to finance the growth and be able to keep the doors open. Priority, hire the right team. In the first stage, you don't hire specialists, you hire generalists. And by the way, you don't choose your employees on stage 1. They choose you. You don't have the great salaries, great market opportunity or anything. So very few people are willing to work for you because of the risk of working for you. So you cannot really choose them. They choose you. So on stage 2, now you have to be more strategical of who do you hire. The barrier that you have to overcome is leadership, because now you have to lead a team. Before you were doing everything with everyone, right? You're in the middle of the operation. Now you have to start stepping aside and start leading a company and giving direction. And the ability you have to develop, of course, is learn how to delegate and put systems and procedures to predict and repeat all your systems and processes, right? Before you were doing them all the time. Now you're going to teach someone. Now you have to give them a system and a process for them to be able to run it. And the decision, it's all about team and cash. Get the right team and don't run out of cash on stage 2. The stage where the CEO ages the most is stage 2. If you see a company, a CEO, stage 1 and then stage 3, they look older because going through stage 2. It's really, really a tough stage because of cash flow. And the typical org chart, when you start building an org chart on stage 2, looks like this. We don't believe it should be like this. It should be like this. You should turn around, and this is a service-oriented org chart where you see your team on top of you and said, hey, you don't work for me. I work for you. The better team members that I get, the happier they are, the better trained they are, the more they're going to grow my company. So my job is not to be a great CEO. My job is to build a great team. If I build a great team, they will build a great company. I cannot build a great company myself. I know that I have limitations of time, hands, mindset, everything. So my best investment is to build a great team. And if I build a great team, that team will build a great company. So as an example, if I have a great head of sales, how many sales problems do I have to overcome myself or focus? None. Because if I have a great sales agent or sales manager, he's going to take care of all the sales. So my job is to have the best sales manager there or sales director for them to take care of my sales. This is the org chart of Growth Institute, my company today. And let me just walk you through. First, we have what we call a CEO team. And it's a team. It's not just one person. And the team, we have myself. I have an execution leader or a head of operation. I have someone in charge of HR, leadership, not operation, my executive assistant. And then we do all the research and development and thought leadership because we partner with people that write books, and all the relationships with them we do at the CEO level. So as an example, I partner with people that write books, very famous people around the world. So I partner with them, get their content, and do a course online. So what I do is first I do the relationship with the thought leader, sign the contract, and then I send it to the content team and said, content team, build a course. And they build a course development, video production, audiovisual, everything. And they do structural design and then design a course and build a course. Then they send it to the growth team and said, growth team, now go and deliver it, sell it. And their job is to grow the company. So their job is to get more clients, acquisition of clients, and monetization, get those clients to buy more from us. And once you sign a credit card or you enter a program, then we send it to the customer success team. And the customer success team, it's in charge for delivering what we sold you. And they are in charge that you're successful going through our programs. And then we have what we call the support teams, finance, technology, design, logistics, and the rest. That's how we run. We follow team of teams. We follow holacracy. We follow all these new organizational development of smaller teams, multidisciplinary, and really help us to move much, much faster into the market. All right, then stage 3. You could see here, it's beginning to be more complicated, the structure. 16 to 250 employees. You have to focus on dominate your industry, right? Whatever products you bring, pricing, and the rest, your competitors start looking at you and say like, wow, he's really understanding what to do. We need to figure out how to compete against you. Until stage 2, you're still too small to matter. They don't care. The competitors don't care about you. On stage 3, they start now caring about you, caring about a competitor, and start seeing you directly. The priority, scale. This is the right time to scale. When we talk about scaling companies, this is the right stage. Before, you're scaling prematurely. Below 16 employees, it's hard to scale. You have a lot of constraints. Here's where you focus on really getting the company higher and your systems and processes to move faster. The barrier, infrastructure. you need a lot of infrastructure to scale. Systems, technology, new offices, open new countries, all that. That's a lot of infrastructure, a lot of investment. And you need cash to be able to do that. Ability, alignment, and simplification. When you start scaling, you have a lot of people doing a lot of things. You have to align them on the same thing, prioritize what's important, and simplify your systems and procedures for people to be aligned to them. And the decision, it's all about execution. You have to execute. The companies that scale, they are fanatical in executing. They're not worried about what's happening in the world and all these things. They are focused on getting things done. So you have to execute. And then stage 4, over 250 employees. Now you start dominating your industry. Priority is to reinvent yourself continuously. Why? You have to get out of this comfort zone. Once you have more than 250 employees, you have revenue, people doing things. You kind of get into a comfort zone. You start stop innovating. You start going to your summer house for 2 months on the summer. All these kind of things lowers innovation, lowers creativity, because you're in a comfort zone, and then you stop growing. So it's really, really important to get out of that comfort zone and be a change catalyst. Change consistently, innovate consistently. And the decisions is all about team, strategy, execution, and cash. And you have to rotate them every quarter, every 6 months, or every certain time. All right, now let's talk how you have to evolve from entrepreneur to CEO. Now you know how the company grows. Now how you have to evolve to help the company do their job, right? So stage 1 on the startup, you have to do 3 things. You have to do the technical work of your company. Hey, I have a restaurant. You have to cook, right? That's a technical work. Then the managerial work, you have to pay payroll, open bank accounts, get government certifications, or whatever you need to be able to run your company. And then you have to be the entrepreneur. You have to do a strategy, go out and sell, and the rest. So in the first stage, you have to do those 3 things: the technical work, the managerial work, and the entrepreneurial work. On stage 2, it changes. Remember, now you're leading a team. You see how you have a team and you're leading the team. You have to learn how to do 2 things: define direction. Said, hey, we're going to go there or there or there. Just give them the direction, and then delegate to them what they're going to do. And then the third stage, it's all about communicating. Now you have a lot of people. Now it's getting complicated. It's getting messy, the amount of team members that you have. You have to be much better communicating, designing an action plan, help the teams build better teams and action plans, their projects on how they're going to run, how to build and create these teams, and then you have to coach them. Instead of being their boss and tell them what to do, you have to coach them. You have to change your hat and say, hey, I am here to help you become great. How can I coach you and help you grow? And if I help you grow, you're going to grow my company. And here's for me the best example of someone that is their boss and someone that is their coach. So up to stage 2, you're playing checkers. What does it mean to play checkers? You see your board and you said, hey, everyone is the same, black or white, same size, same chips, same everything. And you move the chips around and you have full control. When you go to stage 3, you said, no, I'm playing chess now. If you look at your board, everyone has different capacities, qualities. They have strengths and weaknesses. And your job is to be able to identify strengths and weaknesses and position them to use their strengths the most and cover the weaknesses with someone else. You have to be way more strategical on how you position your employees, but then you have to let them operate. You have to step aside and allow them to operate. And that's a huge change of mindset that you have to do to go from stage 2 and stage 3. And by the way, most of the companies that we see that don't scale is because the CEO, the leader, was not able to go from checkers to chess. If you play chess, now you could lead a team and really have the mindset to build a great team and lead a great team. And on stage 4, you become a satellite around the organization, and the organization runs day to day without you, and you become strategic innovator, change catalyst, and start defining the culture and be the chief of culture. And athletes spend 90% of their time training, learning techniques, practicing. so they execute 10% at their best level. In business, we do it the other way around, right? We usually operate 99% of the time, and then we try 1% to learn and improve. No, we have to balance more, learn more, practice more, get better more, so we could execute better. All right, so let's go into a CEO system. Let me give you, in the last, I think we have like 15 more minutes. Yeah, like 15 more minutes. I'll give you some tools to start building your CEO system today so you could go to the next stage. So focus on you, focus on the team, and then focus on your company. Remember what I said, you could not build a great company. You first have to focus on building a great team, and that team will build a great company. But if you want to build a great team, you have to become a great leader. The great teams want to follow and work for great leaders.
Yeah.
If you are not a good leader, if you are not someone that they admire, they don't want to work for you. They're going to go and work for someone that inspires them. So it's really, really important that they admire you, they want to work for you, for them to be able to work with you and help you scale your company. So let's talk about these 4 things. And by the way, I believe for you, you have to do 4 things. Operate at higher mindset. You have to elevate your mindset so you could really grow yourself, so you could really grow your company. Find and scale your team. What's that team that you need? It's not just team members, it's advisors, investors, lawyers, consultants, people to help you scale your company. Protect your freedom. I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs, they become slaves of your company, of their companies. No, you have to protect your freedoms. You have to have a life outside of your business. And then, of course, build your legacy. Start building your legacy as the leader of the company. So a couple of things. Like in a plane, when they said, hey, if the oxygen mask come down, you have to put the oxygen mask first. I could not help anyone if I am a disaster. I have to be well, like financially. If you are having financial problems, most likely you're going to bring financial problems to your company. So the best leaders know they have to put their oxygen masks first. So you have to become a great leader, become a great human being, a great person, have control of your finance, good relationships, have your weight under control, all of that to have a team then wanting to be led by you and admire you. And the one thing you have to do, most important, is set routines. Routines set you free. And those routines will help you become that. Remember, human beings, we are routine-based self. When a baby is born, the first thing they tell their mother, said, hey, give a routine to the kid. Get them to sleep at the same hour, eat at the same hour, go to the restaurant at the same hour. You have to give them that routine to help them grow. Same with human beings. The more routines you have and you respect your routines, the better you're going to do. And for me, the most important is the morning routine. I woke up today at 5 a.m. I starting this at 7 my time. So I dedicated 2 hours for me to read, did some exercise, had a good cup of coffee, read a little bit so I could be ready to start giving value. If you wake up with an alarm clock, go to take a shower really fast, go into the car, shouting to people, you won't be able to give a lot of value. You're going to have high drama and you're going to bring that high drama to your team. So you need to spend 2 hours in the morning dedicated to you so you could really start giving value to the world. And for me, the morning routine is where everything starts. If I have a great morning routine, I'm most likely going to have a great day the rest of the day. Now let's focus on your team. And for your team, I believe you have to do 4 things. Build and lead an A team or a team of A players. Build a great memorable culture. Your team wants to work in a place that they enjoy working, and that's culture of the company. Boost their capabilities. They want to grow themselves too. So your job is to help them grow as people, as human beings. And the more you help them grow, the more they're going to help you grow your company. And then align the efforts. You have a lot of team members, great players. Now you have to focus them and align them to execute and do the same. So if you want to grow your company by 10x, you first have to grow your team by 10x. And this is a picture of my team 3 or 4 years ago. We were able to see each other without COVID. And this is what I'm most proud of. Having that amazing team, that what makes Growth Institute great. Not me, not the thought leaders. This is what makes companies scale. So if you really want to grow your company by 10x, focus on growing your team. And it's not quantity, it's a lot of quality. I really prefer one employee. I believe one great employee is better than three so-so. So hire the best and focus on growing the best. And then set a discipline of execution. And we learned this from Vern Harnish, from the book Scaling Up. Vern is amazing, giving you that discipline, that rhythm of execution. You have to set priorities so you could focus and align your team. You have to gather data so you could measure everything that happens. And that's going to give you clarity and foresight into the execution. And then establish a rhythm of meetings. Remember that to give that routine, to be able to take faster and better decisions. So if you really want to be an expert on execution, go to Scaling Up, Vern Harnish. It's an amazing book to help you become a better leader and execute a better operation so you could scale your company. And in the company, you have to do 4 things. Create a simple and powerful strategy. Hey, what's a strategy, right? Put a man on the moon, become or get self-driving cars, or organize the world's information. Have that very, very simple but very powerful strategy. 2, capitalize your predictable sales system or build a predictable sales system. Sales systems are the oxygen of companies. You have to figure out how to consistently bring cash to the company. Then challenge exponential growth. Our role, as I said earlier, you have to be the change catalyst. You have to bring all that change, all that innovation. So you challenge exponential growth. Try to take your team to grow exponentially or take the company to a next level. And then increase your company value. You are creating an asset that has an intrinsic value that has to grow in valuation. I really believe what an entrepreneur needs to do, it's build a company, build a great team, revenue, whatever, but then build an asset that runs without you. And that's when you have a company. If your company depends on you, you don't have a company. You have an auto-employment. How can you build a company that runs and gives value and grows without you? And I here really believe that we have to embrace exponential technologies. And I believe we're trying to run the world with culture, economy, society, ethics, politics, like we were 200 years ago. And we're trying to manage all these technologies that are these rockets, and we have no idea how to manage them. I really, really believe we have to significantly evolve our societal processes, politics, and the rest. That's why we have so many countries with so many political problems, because we haven't evolved our political or social systems as much as our technologies. So our job is to evolve how we run as a team, as a society, as a group of people, so we could really learn how to use all these technologies. And for me, the best example of this is what we call an EXO sprint, invented by Salim Ismail, the first director of Singularity University, and said, hey, how can I get this very old, big animal that is very, very strong, but it's slow? And I get them through a process of innovation. And I come out with 3, 4, 5 much younger animals, or faster, more nimble animals. And there, the biggest mistake that we see is company doing all this innovation, but whenever they do their minimal viable product, they said, hey, I want to build a car because I want to transport people. And they start building 1 wheel, and then 2 wheels, and then a chassis, and then a car. But here, you don't help the person move. If I build a wheel, you won't be able to move. If I give you 2 wheels, you won't be able to move, right? I need to build a full car. So if I understand how I'm giving you value, if I understand my strategy, I'm going to do first a skateboard, then a bicycle, then a motorcycle, and then a car, right? I'm transporting people, but since the beginning, I'm already to transport people. So build an innovation engine in your company that consistently brings new innovation, new data, and you evolve faster than the competitors to keep the company, in the leadership, in the market. So are you being the CEO your company deserves? Do you have the tools to be that CEO? Are you doing what you have to do to take your company to a next level? So that's very important. Ask that question. Are you the CEO your company deserves? Think about that. All right. If you want to see some of these slides, if you go to this link below, you're going to be able to download some of these slides so you could go through them again and be able to learn how to be a better CEO and take your company to a next level. All right.
Amazing. Amazing. And I would also request Shambhavi to, share this link in the CTA box so that everyone can actually get to the very page where these slides are. So I am absolutely loving the session, Daniel, and a lot of what you said is not only applicable to CEO as a designation, but to the leaders who are handling like different teams in an organization as well. A lot of it
Correct.
is applicable to that, to all those leaders as well. And I'm absolutely loving the session how you have given so much importance to team building and how important it is to build a team that actually helps you grow, and how this relationship between the CEO, the employer, and the employee works wonders if for the company to grow. We have a lot of questions, and I have a lot of questions myself. We are Yes, thank you so much, Shambhavi. Guys, you will be should be seeing a pop-up on your screen where you can check out all these slides. Please click on this and see the slides. In the meanwhile, we will take a quick mid-roll and we will be back to hear more from Daniel, and also to take so many questions that are there in the questions tab. So right after this short break.
Claremax is a full-service video agency based around video production. We created a brand that fit our identity at the time, but as we've evolved as a company, we found that that original brand didn't quite fit our aspirations anymore. Finding a partner to rebrand your entire company takes a lot of time and effort. Finding Designhill was an incredible lifeline. Designhill offers a money-back guarantee. If we don't like any of the designs, we get all of our money back. The stuff that we ended up with were well beyond what we had been seeing on other creative services platforms. After creating a simple design brief by answering some questions created by Designhill, we posted, and within a few days, we had over 250 entries. Designhill's platform made it easy to communicate with all the potential designers. Eventually, we picked a winner. In addition to a logo, our designer also created a letterhead, business cards, and banners for all of our social media platforms. With Designhill's help, we now have a brand that meets our aspirations. We're ready for the future and everything that it's here to bring.
All right, so let's take a few questions. Daniel, can you hear me? Hey, Daniel, can you hear me?
Mute.
All right.
Can you hear me
All right.
now? I was trying to unmute.
Yes, I can hear you now. Your screen froze for a second. No problem.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right.
I'll enlarge your screen so that you are there. All right. So
Perfect.
while we were getting the registrations for this event, there was this question in the registrants list, which asked about the brand identity aspect of building a business. Right? You have touched upon, team building, employee building, leadership, and everything. But how important it is to build the brand in the process of building a company, and at what point in time an organization should start investing, especially in the case of startups.
That's as I said in stage one, that start building your legacy. You have to have your legacy as the CEO and the legacy of the company.
Right.
And the legacy starts with the logo, it starts with the brand. And you have to start deciding it since the beginning. It's going to evolve like the company, but you have to set the parameters, the core values. Why are we here? And you have to be able to share that through the brand and logo design and everything around that.
All right.
So yes, since the beginning.
All right. So, and with that being said, you all know, all your business people attending this session, you all know Designhill is your place to be when it comes to brand building, when it comes to logo making. We have a lot of tools. So please make your way to designhill.com to actually build a great brand identity with a lot of services that Designhill has to offer. All right. So another question, another very good question by our registrant was how to move on from a bad decision that you have, inadvertently made for your organization. You make a lot of good decisions. You also make a lot of bad decisions. But when, especially when you are at a stage where you have just started out, and a lot of capital is at stake. How do you move on from a bad decision, and what do you keep in mind to continuously keep moving on?
So I've been in bad situations in my life many times, and I believe the only way is step by step. So I'll give you a quick, my worst moment in life. That's when I had to close one of my companies. I had 120 employees. I had a mortgage bank in 2007, 2008. And of course, you have to understand what happened. I had to shut it down because I was in the subprime business, and the subprime business just died one day in the US. So I went from 120 employees to 2 employees in 1 week. So I started Monday with 120. On Friday, I had 2. And it was really, really painful. And I lost a lot of money and the rest. So I was in a really bad moment in my life. And I remember I was trying to save the company and I was having a lot of drama. So I gained a lot of weight. I stopped sleeping good. I started eating bad. Uh, of course, I couldn't connect with my wife and my kids. I didn't have good time with them. They felt mad with me. I was in a bad mood all the time. So everything, I went into this bad cycle, and everything begins getting worse and worse and worse. And I remember waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning a lot of nights and just going to my living room and said, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to get out of this. So am I frozen? Can you hear me? So it froze on my side. Sorry, it froze on my side. Can't hear you anymore.
All right. I'm saying I can hear you. We can hear you, but the screen has frozen for some reason.
I think now, can you hear me?
Yes, we can absolutely hear you. But this,
All right.
yeah,
So
I'm
I'll
seeing
continue.
you.
I hope that, yeah,
Yes,
now it's working, the slide.
much
All right.
better, much better.
So
Yes.
I remember waking at 3 o'clock in the morning and I was in my living room without really knowing what to do. And I said, I need to start doing one thing. What do I have control? There's a lot of things I don't have control, and there's some things that I do have control. So I said, I'm going to start at least losing weight and having that morning ritual. So at 3 a.m. when I woke up, put my tennis shoes and just got out and walk and started walking 5 and 10 miles every morning. I couldn't run. I was severely overweight, so I couldn't run. And I haven't done exercise in some time. So I was not in a good shape to start running. So I just started walking. And I walk 5, 10 miles every day. And just being outside, breathing better air, seeing the sunlight coming out, starting to walk, I start to improve my life little by little. And then I start doing things. When I came back home, I had all this energy and ideas and everything, and I start changing. So don't worry where you are. Just start doing one thing that you have control on to improve. And even if it's not your business, improve something in your life, and that will start bringing back some things, good things to your business. And that's going to help you get your business back on track. But start with something you have control on. Don't worry on what you do not have control on.
That's an amazing story, and these are the stories we actually love hearing from people who have made it big. And thank you so much for sharing it, Daniel. My next question to you would be from an employee's perspective. I know that this event is about CEO and him or her building is his or her empire, but you talked about routine when it came to team building, routines of a CEO, and as well as the routines of employees who would work for you. My question to you would be, when an employee is supposed to have a growth conversation with the reporting manager, let's say, or with the CEO. So how to touch upon on that, because it's only when you help your employees grow that they help you, they help you grow your organization. So it's a little tilted towards an from employees perspective, but what would be your advice to all the employees?
So I tell my team, hey, I want to help you, but you have to tell me what you want. You have to tell me what's your growth plan. And as an example, there's people in my team that they're doing something, and I know they will never be a manager. They are not a manager type, right? What they do, they're really really good at. They're just not a manager person. So I tell them, hey, I know you want to grow. How can I help you grow? And sometimes they said, hey, I want to be a better designer, and I need a training, or help me all this new, give me this new technology so that I could do some more work. So I help them, give them the investment tools, training that they need to be able to grow. But you have to be part. It's like you cannot wait and sit down for your boss to tell you how to grow and give you everything. You have to be running your own show. You're the president, let's say, of your own life. So be that. Be the CEO of your own life. Understand what you want. Run yourself. Think, and then ask for help, and then do it. So I tell my team, hey, I will buy any training for you. We have a $2,000 a year for any employee to do any training.
Wow.
And I have team members that don't use it. And I was like, why not using it? Well, I don't know. I don't know what to take. And I was like, I can't do it for you. You have to do it yourself. So be the president of your own life, the CEO of you, and ask for help. Design who you want to be. Design, like I have to do the strategy of my company. I design what I want my company to be. The same, I need you to design the company or the life that you want. And I will be happy to help you build it. You have to give me what you want.
Absolutely. This is so insightful. Thank you so much, Daniel. Let's take a few questions from the questions tab. And this is by Kyra. She says, he or she says, I love your bookshelf, Daniel. In the background, as a successful CEO, are there any books that you would recommend for a startup leader to start with?
So let me get a couple here.
Wow.
So 3 ideas. First, scaling up. Vern Harnish. I really believe this is the base of operating and running any business. I live and die by this book. Then, not this one. This is the best leadership book I've read, Multipliers by Liz Wiseman. I've learned a lot. It has helped me become a better leader significantly. And then one of design or brand, Building a Story Brand, Donald Miller. I think it's a brilliant book on teaching people how to write that story, and they have to use design to put that story in perspective. But you first have to write the story. So Building a Story Brand, great book.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. I absolutely love this session. All right. So next question will be by Joe Watson asks how to be a good CEO amidst pandemics, especially people and startups that were, they started off when, just before the pandemic. How should they move on? Because it's a little tough on them.
So it is tougher on the pandemic. It was easier to have everyone in the same office and everything. We've been fully remote 2 years. I haven't seen any of my employees in 2 years. Indeed, I hired in March my VP of marketing. She's my number 2 person in the company, number 3 person in the company. I hired her everything through Zoom. I just met her Monday for the first time. I haven't met her in all the process. So I understand it's tougher to be a leader with the pandemic. But here's for me the difference. There's a lot of things I can't control. So I don't get frustrated, and I don't get depressed or anything. I just said, hey, I can't control it. I'm going to let it go. And I'm going to focus in what I can control. So just focus on what you can control. The rest, don't do it. and you will learn how to use what you have to give better results, and don't be frustrated and depressed on things that you cannot do. So focus on what you can control.
All right, Joe Watson, I hope that answers your question. We have another attendee, Hemant, asking us. He says that he is a student right now. He also says that he wants to be the youngest businessman in India, which is very, very
Perfect.
aspirational. But he has no idea that where should he start and how to get command in that. I mean, just the basic stuff.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to put here a link to a couple of videos that I would recommend you watch. Uh, so the most important thing is you have to have a dream. And I don't know if you remember, but everyone says that in the US, this guy had a dream, and the dream was to have that blacks and whites were the same or whatever. He did not had a dream. The dream had him. The dream was bigger than his life. He was willing to die for that dream to happen. So Peter Diamandis tells me, find something you're willing to die for and live for it. So something that you're so passionate that happens, and live your life for that to happen. If you find that, you're going to be really successful. You're going to enjoy your life. People that are happy is because they're pursuing something they enjoy. So find that you enjoy. If you don't have something that you're like burning desire to make it work, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to build something good and important and something that you really enjoy. And by the way, it doesn't matter what. What matters what makes you happy. So find that what makes you happy. So I'll put on the chat a couple of videos that will help you determine that dream, that objective in your life to really build a great company behind it.
Right. Please. Thank you so much. Please do that and share the links in the chat box. Yeah.
Yeah. What you do the questions, I'll get the links and put them on the chat.
All right.
So if you want to start the next question.
Yeah, I think we should get to the next question, and it's probably going to be the last question as well. So Sissy wants to ask, how has the pandemic affected business? Do you think remote work and meetings online has improved the culture and made employees more productive or less productive?
So I think the pandemic has been great for some companies and has been really, really bad for others. So like everything in life has good and bad things, right? So try to be on the good side. And it's really a mindset than anything else. So sorry, I just posted the first video from the MTP from Salim, and then one from BHAG from Vern Harnish. Please see those two videos, and there's a really full article, how to get your dream and define your dream. Here's what I believe. I believe the ones that are doing great on the pandemic, they said, hey, what do I have control? And just focus on that and did great with that. So I think, I will have to say, for me, personally, the pandemic has been mostly good for my company. My company double its revenue, triple its valuation. I work from home. I don't travel as much as I used to travel. I don't travel at all. I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with my kids. Like, for me, the pandemic was great. I have to say. So I have people that I love that have passed away because of the pandemic. And on the health side, it's been really, really tough. But my business have done great. So you have to do the best with what you have. If you focus in using what you have available to be great, you're going to be great. You saw companies like Zoom. How many times did Zoom grew? Like 50 times in the pandemic, 100 times. They just were ready and they use good luck. And by the way, let me recommend one more book. So this book's called Great by Choice, Jim Collins. Has one chapter, chapter 7, it says return on luck. And it gives you statistically, we all have good and bad luck. The difference is how much return you get on the good luck and how much the bad luck hits you, right? Or get you in trouble. So the best leaders give a better return on luck. The pandemic is luck. It's bad luck for everyone in the world.
Right.
Some people did great with bad luck, and some people did really, really bad with bad luck. How are you doing with bad luck? That's what I think is the difference.
Wow, wow, such great insight. We have almost we are almost done with the questions, but I hope this session never ends because I can hear to this on and on and on. But it is actually time we wrap up this session. And I'm sure that Daniel would be happy to answer any queries if audiences or if any of us reach out to you on your social handles and want to have a perspective of things as far as business is concerned. Daniel's social handles are there in the chat box, and I would request Shambhavi, my colleague, to share it once again in the chat box for everyone's perusal. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much for being here today with us. Any last thoughts?
Um, just be a great CEO. If you want to build a great company,
Right.
you first have to become a great person, a great CEO, then focus on building a great team. And that great team is going to build a great company. You
Right.
cannot build a great company if you don't build a great team and you don't become a great leader yourself. So
Right.
work
Right.
on you. Be the CEO of you on being a great CEO.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So, all right, guys, this was indeed a value-packed session. There is a lot more, like I said, that we could have discussed and learned. Unfortunately, we are limited by time here. I hope you guys loved this session because I personally did. Once again, I would like to thank Daniel to take out time to be here and be a part of this event today. But this is actually not where it ends. We have a lot more events lined up for you in the coming days. If you guys are interested and haven't registered yet, my colleague Shambhavi is putting the link of our event section in the chat box, where you can find all our upcoming events and register for yourself. To watch this session and other such wonderful events, subscribe to our event section on YouTube channel. The link will be in the chat box again. Also, we have recently launched an uber cool design tool called Studio. You can create some cool design assets for your business for free, absolutely free, using this Designhill Studio tool. Check out the link in the chat box. On that note, I would like to say bye to everyone who joined us here today. Take care, guys, and stay safe. Thank you so much, Daniel, once again for coming.
Thank you for the invitation to Designhill. Thank you.
Thank you.